Okay, everyone, welcome back. सब आगे? We three people are back. Okay, we'll begin with the question. Yes. So here they are saying that you have 5 sentences. Sentence making only first sentence is given to you, right? First sentence is in the right place and the rest will have to figure out. Let's see what's there. Okay, so by the time everybody else comes in, I think we should. Okay, Parth, Anashri, Arav, you can try solving this one. Options are given, first sentence is given. B or D? B.
Ma'am, option D, right?
We have got one answer. What's your answer?
Ma'am,
It's
option
B?
D,
Option
fourth
D.
option.
Anybody else? Who else is in? Harini is in. Okay. Anushree, what's your answer?
Ma'am, I think D.
You think?
Hello, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you be a little louder?
Yes, ma'am, I think
You think it's B or D? I didn't get you. You can type in the message box. Chat में डाल दो. Okay, so Arav, you can also put your answer in the chat if your mic is not working. So what is this talking about? It begins with an economic crisis that Egypt faced. They tell us there was an economic crisis. So now the rest is cotton is a cheap export commodity. Foreign trade depends on cultivation of cotton on a large scale. it became necessary for Egypt to boost cotton crops, right? Only by means of increasing foreign trade, Egypt could survive. Now, if we are saying there is an economic crisis, then what can get it out of the crisis? Increasing foreign trade, right? So after S1, what should come? S can come, right? So
Yes,
now
ma'am.
foreign trade depends on cultivation of cotton on a large scale. That links S and Q form a mandatory pair. Now when we are talking about cotton, the other two are about cotton, but we have to find the order. Cotton is the other, you can say, the other. Yeah. So then, since foreign trade depends on cultivation, so if we begin with Q, do we get to the sequencing? Like what is the problem and then what is the solution? Hmm? Yeah. So then we go on to, now, can we begin with P? No. So we are eliminating. Can we begin with R? It became necessary for Egypt to boost cotton crops. Why did it become necessary? Should come before that. Eliminate. Now if we come to B, foreign trade depends upon cultivation of cotton on a large scale. Can it come after the crisis?
No,
Should it come
ma'am.
after the crisis? No. We have to first say that we have to go from, remember, general to specific. Yeah? First general, second general, then little more specific, then more specific. So the only option remaining is D. Right? Can you come sit this side? Why don't you Hindi grammar? Huh? I put the AC on. I put the AC on. You want the AC? Sit this way. Yeah, okay, so this answer is okay?
Yes,
Answer
ma'am.
is B. Okay, next one. Here also first sentence is given, you have to do the rest. So try to look for mandatory pairs in the first place. So which is the most general statement? R begins with however.
S.
Huh? What links to S1? S1 is already given to you. Exercising daily is a must for good health is given. Now what links to that?
Ma'am, option S.
S can be after,
It seems more general.
yeah. So it can do what can? Exercise can, right? Take any form from sedentary ones like walking to vigorous workouts like a game of squash. So now if you look at the options and if you are smart enough in the exam, you have only one option that begins with S. But we have to be sure that S is a first sentence, right? So we have to look at the
QPR
others.
goes together.
Q and
QPR goes together, and S is the first sentence, so D is the correct answer.
B is the correct answer, right? So Q says, while sum cost you nothing, now that sum refers to any form, right, of exercise. And however it is, then we have P. Luckily there is no link between the amount of money, so after cost we can link this, spend on beneficent exercise. And however, it is important to remember that exercise should not be overdone. So that is the most conclusive sentence. Okay, so we have SQPR. You're feeling sleepy? No. So everyone got this? Easy one? Okay, let's look at another one. This is also easy. At least looks like. So it's talking about urban problems differ from state to state and city to city. So it should talk about the differences.
C.
C. Could be. Anybody with a different answer? Now this is talking about differ from city to city and state to state. Now will S, which says, or R, will R come after S1? It is talking about a contrast. However, certain problems are common to all cities.
Yes,
So
it can come, right?
it can come. So we look at the others. Most cities have neither water nor required pipelines. Yeah. Where does this likely to come in? Q and P. Q. The population in these cities has grown beyond planners' imagination, and
S and Q will go together, right?
S and Q can go together. Okay. S says only broad macro planning was done for such cities without envisaging the future growth, and this has failed to meet the requirements.
Ma'am, I think option A could also be the answer.
Option A could also be the answer. Okay, now let's look at S and look at P, Q and R in that context. Now S says only broad macro planning was done for such cities without envisaging the future growth, and this has failed to meet the requirements. Right? So why has it failed to meet the requirements? That should be clear. So
Actually, PQS, all three statements are talking about the common problems, right? Which most
yeah.
all the cities are facing. So then we should start the sentences, it should start with R, right?
R could also conclude the sentence, right? It is not necessary that we have to use it in introduction.
R can be, see, now if you see S1 says urban problems differ, however certain basic problems are common to all cities, and then what will come after R? S?
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you begin with R, there is only one option that begins with R, that is C. And what about P and Q?
S and Q form a pair, like they will go together. And according to me, R should be the introductory statement and P will be the concluding statement then.
R is the introductory statement. Okay. And P comes after that. So if you read in this
Yes,
order,
ma'am.
only broad micro planning was done in such cities without envisaging the future. No. We begin with R. However, certain basic problems are common to all cities. Yeah? Only broad macro planning was done for such cities without envisaging the future growth, and this has failed to meet the requirements. Then we go on to the problems. Population has grown beyond planners' imagination, and then most
In
of the
this
cities
case, actually, there is no solution provided. In all the
there is no
sentences, we are highlighting the
solution.
problem.
Yeah, it is only describing the problem, and the problems go from general to specific.
Yeah, and we take S to come before Q because in S we're doing the macro planning. But in Q we're saying that population has grown beyond the planner's imagination. So first the planners tried to make a plan, but now the population has grown. So Q will follow S.
Makes
And P
sense.
will follow Q. P becomes the last statement, and so we'll start with R.
So do you think R should come before S? Could be, but that is a
Yes, ma'am.
broad one. However, certain basic problems are common to all cities. So R can come in the beginning or at the end. Both ways it can fit in, right?
If R is coming at the end, what contrast is it trying to show?
R contrast to what? Okay, now we have
Ma'am, Q will come after S, right? So we can eliminate A in any case.
ah,
And R, if you're saying that R should conclude this question, then option D remains, right?
but what about the
And in option D,
in
P
option B
comes
are
before
others
R.
in order?
No, but in option D, P comes before R. So most cities have neither water nor the required pipelines. However, certain basic problems are common to all cities. What contrast is being highlighted by R here?
So they so it's talking about most cities have neither water nor required pipelines, and however, certain basic problems are common. So we are talking about the problem, and basic problems are common to all cities. Here we talk about most of them have this, and here we are talking about basic problems. So if we take R at the end, we have A and D. SQPR, does it fit in?
Ma'am, is it necessary that S should be before Q itself?
Hmm?
Like after Q, can't we take S?
After Q.
Yeah.
Okay, if we look at S and Q, what does S say and what does Q say? Read it. S says only broad macro planning was done for such cities without envisaging, now it also talks about such cities, without envisaging the future growth, and this has failed to meet the requirements. Right? Now, planning was already done. Population in these cities has grown beyond the planner's imagination. So, planners did something, but the population increased beyond the planner's imagination, and so it created a problem.
Ma'am, I think P brings the concept of the cities and Q and S elaborate on that particular cities itself. So I think P, Q, and S should align together.
PQS should align together. Let's see. So, I'm just taking in all your arguments. PQS and then
R.
PQS and then R. So, you are going with A. Harini is going with C.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anybody else? Come on, everybody, what are your arguments? Let's argue this out. Hmm? Who else? Everyone is quiet. क्या बात है? Right? What's your answer?
Ma'am, I feel it should be A.
A. Okay. Anybody else with C? So we have two people with A. C में कौन है? Hmm? A? Okay, let's see. Now, in A, you come up with urban problems differ from city to city and state to state. Most cities have neither water nor required pipeline. So, in the first sentence S1, it is talking about urban problems differ, right? Now, whether it is state to state or city to city, rest of it is talking about city, so we consider city. Yeah? Urban problems differ. Then, if we say most cities have, so now we start describing the problems. So, if we start describing the problems, most cities have neither
But if we're
water.
saying that problems are differing, how can we start talking about the problems then? If you talk about the problems, that means that they're not differing, right? Many cities have this problem, so they're not differing. We need to bring out a contrast in the
Then we
beginning.
should ideally be beginning with R. Yeah? Urban
Yes, ma'am.
problems differ from state to state, city to city. However, certain basic problems are common, and then we come to what the problems are. Right? So we go from R, then to S, no, sorry, to P.
No, ma'am, to S.
R. So then where does P go in?
Ma'am, P will be the last statement.
Last statement. Let's see. So do we have any with R and P coming together?
No, ma'am, we
C.
don't.
No,
We
I
have
mean, as in
P
not
and
together.
R. P and R. R P नहीं है कहीं पर. Okay. So yeah, no problem here. Okay, so if we go with A, if we begin, most cities have a problem, then we go on to the population has grown and only broad macro planning was done without envisaging future growth, and this has failed to meet the requirements. Could be, but most cities have neither water, however, certain basic problems are common. It doesn't really go into the logical thing. Now, if you go with C, however, certain basic problems are common to all cities. They differ, but basic problems are common. Then only broad macro planning was done. Then the population in these cities have grown beyond planners, and most cities, because of that, most cities have neither water nor require pipelines.
Yes, ma'am. So C
That does
makes.
make sense. Now, if you look at the others, now Q doesn't make sense coming first. Now, if you look at D, only broad macro planning was done, population has increased, they have neither water nor pipelines, and however, basic problems are common. No, that doesn't fit in. C is the only one that gives a logical sequence. Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, everybody? I agree with Harini. What about everyone else? Don't agree? Come on, I need a response.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay, thank you. So we can move on. Anybody has a doubt in this? Please raise your doubt. No one? Okay, then we move on. Okay, let's look at this one. First sentence is given to you.
B.
Hmm?
B.
B.
Ma'am, D.
Oh, sorry. D. Sorry, ma'am.
RSPQ.
RSPQ.
Hmm?
RSPQ, ma'am.
Ma'am, option D, last option.
D. Okay. It says Satyajit Ray made several films for children, and later filmmakers have followed his lead. Yeah. So what was his lead? Today, other nations are making children's films in a big way. That seems to be more of a conclusion. Or could
Excuse me, ma'am.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am, but I was marked absent for today's class, ma'am. So could you please override that?
Who is this?
Soham, ma'am.
Soham. Did you come late in the previous one?
No, ma'am. I've been
No.
here since the past 3 hours, ma'am.
Okay, I'll figure that out.
Yes, ma'am. Please do. Thank you.
I'll tell ma'am. Okay, so now getting back to the question. Later filmmakers have followed his lead. Today other nations are making children's films. This was a time when no director considered children as potential audience. Ray was thus a pioneer in the field, right? So now if you follow even a chronological order, today other nations are making should come last, right? And he made several films during a time when nobody else was making. That forms a pair, right? And S can come after that. Thus, he was a pioneer. Later, other people followed, and today, other nations are making films. So, RSPQ, as in D, makes sense. Okay? Yes, everybody? Anyone
Yes,
who
ma'am.
doesn't agree, please. Otherwise, I'll think that nobody is even trying to do anything. So on.
Yes, ma'am. I only answered D.
Okay, yes, you did answer. Yashu, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here, ma'am.
What's your answer?
Ma'am, I did not come upon the answer, but like looking at the options and now that we have gotten the answer, D looks like it should be correct. But um, I
B.
yes, ma'am.
RSQP. Huh? Okay, now RS is till RS you are fine. Now, if you are looking at QP, today other nations are making films and later filmmakers followed his lead. Is that like chronologically the proper sequence? Satyajit Ray made films when nobody else was doing it, so he was the pioneer. Later on, filmmakers followed his lead, and then we get on to today what is happening, right? So instead of QP, PQ will be the right sequence. Got it now? Yes, Yoshu?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now we did 10 questions. Do you want to continue with the questions here? So this was just a reminder of what there was. Okay, do you have your books with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone has module 4, then we can go on to module 4. And you can do do you want to do module 4 questions? Because those are the easy ones. Actually, I found them quite easy. You could do them on your own anyway. So, you got your book?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, if you look at your books, practice set 1 is quite simple. You can do those. Practice set 1 is 27. Page number 27. Page number 27, practice set 1, छोटे questions है. These you can do on your own. Yeah, those are in fact, they're not even sentences, they are parts of sentences. So, let me go through those. Okay, we did a few with the first sentence given. Most of these are with the first sentence given. I don't want to do more first sentence given. Okay, no, practice set 1 and 2 you do on your own. We'll do some extra questions that I have over here. That would be a better idea. Because practice set 1 and 2 are questions which we already did. Okay? Okay, so we will do these where nothing is given to you. Yeah? So we need to get used to doing. So here you just have the sentences and luckily options are given. So now we can figure out from here. Okay?
It is not in the book, right?
No, this is not in the book, you have to do it from here. So the book ones I found are quite simple and those you can manage on your own. We'll do something where we need to rack our brain a little more. So everyone can see the screen?
Ma'am, option A.
Option A.
Yes, ma'am, option A.
Everyone has done this? Okay, we'll wait for everyone to finish. I want more answers. I don't know whether A is correct or not, but I
Yeah,
want
ma'am, option A.
answers first. Option A, okay. Option A. Yeah, because if you see, the C begins with 8, A has an 8, so we need something that introduces what it is. Yeah? The Golden Kela is held each year where awards are given for the year's worst in Bollywood, is introducing what it is. Then it goes on to, in simple terms, it is the India's version of the Razzies, so it is telling us more about what it is. Then we come to E, who created it, or why, and then C, why it was created, and then it goes on to B. It is going to be hosted this year by Cyrus Bush. Yeah, that's good. Okay, next one.
Okay, now the easy.
Hmm?
Easy.
You're feeling what now? Oh. Okay, so this one,
A.
A. Okay, let's see. Anybody else? What's your answer? A. सबने बोला है इसलिए.
Yeah, ma'am.
No, it's the right word.
Okay. Yeah, anybody with a different answer? Huh? Anybody thinks it's not A? Come on. Everybody thinks it's A? Yeah, A is the answer. If you see, B is the introductory statement, the three key macroeconomic concerns, right? And then there's an additionally, there was an expectation that the government would restart, so that is another concern. Then it goes on to what the budget did to address these issues. And then you go on to A, that is despite all the strong performance what happened, and B is a concluding statement. You're right. Okay, here we have 5. You have 5 sentences, 4 options given.
Ma'am, D.
D, that was quite great.
Yes, ma'am. D.
So you begin with D. Pudding seems to have 2 principal colours. Then the first one, then you go on to describing further about the first one, and then you introduce the second one, sorry, and then you go into a conclusion with subsequent. Again, you have 5. Hmm? B.
D.
So what are they talking about? What is the main theme?
I think this the number of things, conflicting or
So it has evoked mixed responses. So a decision taken, mixed responses, opinion divided. Then associate members aren't too thrilled, right? Then it goes on to the ICC's bid to placate the associate member. What do you mean by placate? Placate means it's something like pacify them or to reduce their. Now they are saying they were not too thrilled about it. So in order to make them happy, they did something, decided to increase the number of participating teams. Yeah? And then what happened? To be fair, ICC, to the ICC criticism of the move to restrict the number of teams to an is a case of damn if you do, damn if you don't. Means the members are least bothered. तुम increase करो नहीं करो, we don't care, right? So a consequence of that, and then it goes into, it is convenient to just now to forget that in the last edition of the flow movement there was criticism was heat, and thanks in a large part to the presence of associates. So D is the best option. So there's a logical sequence in it anyway. Yeah. We're talking about environment education.
Ma'am, option C.
C.
See, everybody, what about the other people? Come on with your answers. So A seems to be the undisputed introductory sentence. So we can eliminate B and D anyway. Now A introduces environmental education and providing easy to understand reading material, right? So B talks about their new publication on this subject is an attempt to lend teachers a helping hand. So they provide easy to read material. So it is the center's education or the new published material. So B comes after A. Then it goes on to describe it, right? And provide some other information, and then it goes on to a contrast that they are introduced to students not as a paragraph to memorize but as an activity to do. So it gives it it is a reading material but it has an activity to do. So that's your concluding statement. So everyone agrees with B? Oh, sorry, with C?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this one, number 6.
Ma'am, A. Hello.
Yes, A you
Ma'am,
said.
A. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody with a different answer? Anushree, what's your answer? Anushree, Sarvesh, please come with your answers. Huh? Srish? Yeah. Arini, do you agree with A?
Yes, ma'am.
Yasho?
Yes,
Come
ma'am.
on, answer.
I'm here, ma'am.
Okay, do you agree with A?
Yes, ma'am. I had already agreed with it.
So here, if you see, introductory statement is A, and there's the only option with A in the beginning. So anyway, even if you don't read the others, you do read the others of course, but you can easily eliminate the rest. So it's talked about the famous garden, and then it goes on to describing how big the garden is, and then it goes on to describing what it has, and then it goes into further details, right? So that's your answer. Okay, number 7.
Option C.
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 Yes, ma'am.
Everyone thinks it's C?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. C begins with B. It is said that Gautam Buddha gathered his disciples one day at the top. Yeah. Then one of Buddha's disciples, Mahakashyap, silently gazed at the flower and broke into a smile. After B comes C, the flower. Which flower?
No, ma'am, it should be
Ma'am, can we
option
D? I
D.
want to change to D.
Ma'am, I said
Ma'am,
D?
option B, ma'am. B. DBAC.
B or B?
Ma'am, ma'am, for me, B, second option.
ma'am, we should be the related rather than outside.
B for beta, B for delta.
Ma'am, B for Bravo, ma'am, B.
Okay, let's see what goes in. So the flower should come before C. Now we are searching for a mandatory pair, right? So one of the Buddha disciples gazed at the flower and broke into a smile. The origin of Zen Buddhism is ascribed to the flower sermon, the earliest source which comes from the 14th century. Now, D seems to be introducing something, the flower sermon. E says the Buddha silently held up and twirled a flower and twinkled his eyes. A flower. Several of his disciples tried to interpret what this meant, though none of them was correct. Right? So, what can come before C? One of the Buddha's disciples silently gazed at the flower and broke into a broad smile. And it is said that Gautam Buddha gathered his disciples. So he gathered his disciples, and then
Ma'am, and then
when they
again,
gathered together, Buddha was completely silent, and some speculated that perhaps Buddha was tired or ill. Yeah? So the flower hasn't come in as yet. He gathered his disciples and they thought he was ill. Right? Then what happened? Buddha silently twirled the flower and twinkled his eyes. Then one of his disciples gazed at the flower and broke into a broad smile. That's a sequence. Yeah? Now we have, what do we have left? D. That is introducing the flower song. Right? So we have D, B, A, E, C. So which is the correct answer then? B.
B.
Right? Everyone?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
so in this, what was the confusion? Those who chose C or D, what was the confusion? Hmm? Now, if you did not have D, P could have been the introductory sentence, right? But D is more general than B, so D can't go off in the middle. And anyway, B, A, E, C form a chronological sequence. Yeah? What happened after what? Okay? Everyone got this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now try this.
Ma'am, options C. No.
Answer is yes or
No, ma'am, just a second.
now you see all of them are beginning with A. So you've got a clear introductory statement.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, D.
option D. A, B, D, E, C.
B,
Yes, ma'am.
A,
Yes, ma'am, even I think D.
you also think D, so two people D. Anybody else with D or A
Yes,
or
ma'am.
any
D.
other? Hmm?
Ma'am, D.
D?
D.
Okay, I think majority is going with D, right? Okay, so you begin with A, post-election crisis in Kenya remains unresolved, right? Then what is the crisis? Damage being done to the country's economy is severe, right? The damage is severe. Like everything is going down, tourism, horticulture, other industries that depend on trade beyond the Kenyan border are reeling. Now, what is the other part of the problem? Thousands of livelihoods along with investment throughout the region are threatening and
Jammal
collapsing,
though?
right? So A, B, D, that is a sequence.
Exactly the same, I think.
Yes, Parth, can you mute yourself? Huh? Either you have fun or pay attention in class. You can do one of the things. Okay, then we talk about the situation escalating and what is happening. International community was urged to help. Then comes countries responded and how they responded. Right? Oh yeah? So now you have got it, it's not A. Okay, next question.
Ma'am, option C.
Option C. Okay. Anybody else?
Ma'am, D.
Ma'am, A,
Huh?
A,
A. B बचा है. Anybody with B? What's your answer?
No, ma'am. A. I'm with A.
Ma'am, option C.
Option C. Okay. So we have between C, D, and A. And okay, who else goes with C? Anybody else goes with C? Or anybody else goes with D?
Ma'am, I changed to D.
D. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's see. We have A, C, D. All of them begin with different sentences. Okay, let's look at the sentences first. Now B begins with A. That could also be an option. The US market will continue to be the dominant one in the foreseeable future. The rupee could become even stronger. So these are 2 points that have been given. US market will dominate and rupee could become stronger. Now, a greater recourse to hedging as well as striving for multi-currency revenue streams automatically suggests itself. Now, that seems to be a little like it should be in context of something. Already one company, TCS, by resorting to these methods extensively has turned in an above average performance during the first quarter. Now, does C, can we combine C with something? We have to see. Most
Ma'am, so
B and C.
B, C are mandatory pair.
A and C,
Ma'am, B, C, B,
B,
C.
B.
Bravo
EC,
charging, ma'am, they're mandatory
greater
pair.
recourse to hedging is automatically so. Let's see if C and B go together. C and B. Okay. Most IT companies have been grappling with more mundane problems, such as a high level of attrition. So these are the problems of IT companies amidst rising wage costs and inability to secure the right type and number of American visas. The BPO industry and many medium-sized software exporters are reportedly operating on thin margins. So this is the problem that has come in. Yeah? Does E describe a problem? Huh? Okay, let's look at D. Can D be an introductory statement? Those who said C. Can D be an introductory statement? Hmm? They have been grappling with more mundane problems. So there is some problem which has been introduced before D. Yes or no? Yes, those who came up with D, with D as the introductory sentence in
Yes,
C.
ma'am.
So if it says there are more mundane problems, what is the other problem? What is the main problem? Yeah? So E gives us a problem because BPO industry is operating on thin margins. If we begin with E, D follows, right? So D and E form a mandatory pair. So what can come after D? D and E are one. Then already one company, TCS, by resorting to units only has turned in an above. So this is a solution. What does B give? B talks about the greater recourse to hedging as striving for multi-currency revenue streams automatically suggests itself. So this is talking about something that has happened. US market will continue to be dominant one in foreseeable future. Rupee could become even stronger. So here we are talking about So in B, if you see, what have we, does it give a continuation to some of the other, any other sentence? It talks about attrition amidst rising wage costs, inability to secure right type and number of American visas. So the IT companies want visas to America, but there is a problem in that. So what is the problem in America? The US market is dominating, and rupee could be stronger later, but not right now. Right? So we can say D, A can follow after D. What are we left with? B and C, right? So already one company, TCS, is resorting to these methods. What methods? Hedging and striving for multi-currency revenue, right? Those are the methods. So we can say C, B can come after A and C comes last. Got it now? Everyone got it now? So whoever
Yes,
said
ma'am.
B, that's the correct answer. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
those who came up with A and C, I think you didn't analyze the sequence properly. Right? So the keywords maybe you missed out with on. So if you're talking about B as the introductory sentence, more mundane problems, so what are the other problems? You missed out on that. Those who came up with A as the answer, now B and C can go together, but what is the main problem that is being talked about? The main problem is in E, right? Others follow. Okay. So, what was the difficulty level in this? Looking at your, like, how did you reason it out? Part,
Yeah, ma'am, I got confused.
you got confused. So, why did you get confused? Now, remember, we have to learn from our mistakes first thing. So, getting to the right answer is our goal, but that is not the only thing. If we are confused, why are we confused? Why did we go wrong? So Parth, where did you go wrong? Huh? Parth, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, can you explain your confusion?
Ma'am, actually, I thought that option D would fit in the first introduction sentence because E would be the conclusion, and I thought that after this C should be the correct option, and I saw and I
Okay.
went with the options.
Okay, anybody else had confusion? Can you explain your confusion? Yes, anybody else? If you are doing the question, sure enough, you would have come up with a different answer in the beginning and then thought that maybe ye nahi hoga. Yashu, did you have any confusion?
No, ma'am.
No?
No.
Okay, good. Anushree?
Yes,
Anushree,
ma'am.
are you there? Yeah. So what did you think was the answer in the first place? Yes, Anushree? Did you get to the answer before we came up with anything? Anushree doesn't want to respond. Okay, you can think about it. So we'll move on to the next. Okay, at least we don't have long sentences.
Ma'am, option B.
Huh? Yes, Soham, can you be a little louder?
B, B.
B?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody else, can you be a little faster?
Ma'am, I second that.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. B.
Okay, pretty much is in chronological order. So last March I was invited to present a paper on the topic whether mistakes of 20th century would be repeated. The economic crisis hadn't become grave then, so last March it wasn't that grave. But today there's a biggest economic crisis. The key difference between then and now comes after that. Now even US is pleading for financial help from China. So pretty much same sequence. Okay, this one. Yeah. We have 11 questions.
Ma'am, option C.
C, ma'am.
Amy, you also going with C?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So pretty much C is the introductory sentence and you can eliminate everything else. So your answer is C, right? This one.
B.
Hmm?
B.
B.
No, ma'am. B.
Ma'am, B, B.
Second option.
Second option, C, D, A, E, B.
Begin with C. The monsoon failed and water tanks became almost empty. That gives us the beginning of the problem. Uh, and it goes on to sow, no grain would be sown. Monsoon turned out to be unusually, people started clearing of time. And where is he has gone? So B is the conclusion that monsoon came back. Right. So everyone agrees with B? Okay, question number 13.
Ma'am, option A.
Option A. Anybody else?
It is C also.
Yes, ma'am. A.
Could be C also. If you go with C, read D carefully. Has also contributed with this problem.
It is problem.
Can it be introductory sentence? C is ruled out. Okay, anybody else going with A or any other option? Yes, please quick with your answers.
Ma'am, I'll go with C.
You go with C. I just explained something. Read D again. It says has also contributed to this problem. What problem?
Ma'am, well, it can lead to the problem, like the first sentence.
And it seems a quick fix solution is yet for. But what is the problem? Have we
Right,
introduced
right,
the
right.
problem?
It doesn't identify the problem before the line.
So, which is the most general statement here?
Ma'am, I would like to change my answer to A because it shows like C introduces a problem which is being talked
See,
about.
this is the problem. The Indian economy has not shown desirable growth in recent years. Now, if you look at the options, A is the only option with C as introduction. But we still look at the sequence of it. Suppose options were not given. Then grim global economic scenario has also contributed to this problem. Then if we say what comes after this. Economists all over the world have expressed anxiety in this regard. What regard? The problem is not been solved. Then now as a result usually goes at the end. Yeah? And E begins with but. So E should have a contrasting sentence before that. But one of the primary reasons for such a situation has been the Indian government's inability. So the situation we have already spoken in B and A, right? So E comes after that and B is the concluding sentence. A is clearly your answer. Even if you didn't have, even if you have another option with C in the beginning, but the sequence is C, D, A, B. Okay, one more. Nice short sentences. That's good.
Ma'am, option A.
Option A. You are beginning with river overflowed its banks.
Yes, so it is C or D. Yes, C or D.
No, no, ma'am.
Why did
Ma'am,
the
it should be option C. It should be option C.
Yeah, rain fell steadily should be the beginning.
So
And
C.
because of that, everything else happened.
Yes.
Yeah?
Option C or
So
D.
B comes first. So B and C both are correct first. Now, rain fell steadily, the river overflowed because of the rain. Then, now soon floods retired and villages were able to return will be when the rain stopped. So that is going to be at the end. Right? So C is definitely. They fled to higher grounds. 25 villagers abandoned their homes and then they fled to higher grounds. So it will be yeah. Okay. So anybody with a different answer? Not likely because that is the only sequence that we can see as we read the sentences. Okay, one more quickly.
Ma'am, B.
Huh?
B.
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 D. D or B?
B. B for Delta.
You are beginning with A.
Unless for introductory statement for tonight.
Yeah, there isn't completely clear introductory statement, but still, if we connect, okay. Now, if you don't have a clear introductory statement, first thing you do is connect the dots. So you go with mandatory pairs. Mandatory pairs. Yeah. What can you pair?
A and B.
A. These men have always viewed money as a solvent.
Or maybe B and D.
Huh?
B and B and A and B. ABD are the
And here we are talking about a feeling, right? The current market economy where every relationship involves a monetary barter makes them uncomfortable. For them, it's something that dilutes the essence of social transactions. And this is a little complicated one. Huh? So think carefully what can be put together. So if we have two mandatory pairs, then we can figure out.
one BD has to be the one or
Huh? Okay, we'll see whether it is right or wrong, doesn't matter. First we look at what both can go together. They need to, okay, these men who have always viewed money, these are men who have always viewed money as a solvent. So money was everything for them, right? Then it goes on to, they need to replace this currency with love is fast leading them to what is called a highly moral alternate economy. Now, if you look at all the sentences, now here all the sentences have something like we can't say that something has been introduced as such. All of them have this for them, something or the other is there. Yeah. So keeping that in mind, we will be looking for the pairs.
So all the options except one BD is paired in every single one of them. That's that.
So BD is paired. So
And if we
will
take
BD go together? We have to see.
and in two options ABD and C.
Okay, everybody online, come up with your mandatory pairs first. So what goes together?
Ma'am, A, B, C, D, A, B, D, E, C.
A, B,
D, E, C. It goes together.
A, B, D, E, C. Let's see whether that goes together. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
You sure? Harini?
I agree, ma'am. ABD should go together. So D.
ABD can go together.
Yeah,
Right?
ABD, like there are no other options which put ABD together. So D is the obvious answer because options can
Yes.
get eliminated.
And what about E?
D the right answer.
Now, if you look at D, it says for them it's something that dilutes the essence of social transactions. What dilutes the essence of social transactions?
Recession.
Recession. See, what do you mean by social transactions? People interacting with each other or giving gifts or something,
Yes.
right? So, what is talking about giving gifts? He is talking about giving gifts, right? Yeah? Now, what is diluting? Something that dilutes this gift giving thing. This is a little complicated. I don't know if the answer options are all correct or not. Let's see. So, definitely, men have always viewed money as a solvent, will come first. Yeah? So, if you look at all of these, that is the most general statement. Yeah? So, we can begin with it.
And I have to go with the
Now, their money is a solvent, and this currency, P comes after A, that's first. Now, if you look at this,
only one option left.
huh?
There's only one possible option left. Yeah.
Now they are replacing this currency with love, and such tangible gifts is fast leading them to what is called moral alternative economy. So if you are coming to moral alternative economy, then that is a feeling they have, right? Okay, now if you look at C, we haven't analyzed C. The market economy, where every relationship involves a monetary barter, makes them uncomfortable. Where does that go? Huh? That can go after. Now we don't have any option where it can go after A. Now in your options we have DC and DE and EC. So anybody has come up with a correct answer? Now our option is A, D, A, B, D, E, C we have come up with. What about the other people? They are all quite quiet. I'm not giving you the answer till you come up with something more.
I was pretty good answer.
You have already gone with
D.
D. Okay. Soham, what is your short answer?
Yes, ma'am, I said, ma'am, D.
D. D seems to be the best
Ma'am,
option.
out of these, it's the most appropriate, so yeah. D.
Most appropriate. So we can begin with, these are men who have always viewed money as a solvent. They need to replace this currency with love, and this is the gift economy, and then it goes on to, for them it's something that dilutes the essence of social transactions. That is where I'm a little doubtful. Recession, however, has nothing to do with this feeling. The current market economy, where every relationship involves a monetary barter, makes them uncomfortable. Yeah, C is the concluding statement anyway, so D is the most appropriate out of all of these, right? Okay, this was, okay, Harini, where are you?
Yes, ma'am. I said ABD forms a pair, so it needs to come together,
Yeah.
and D is the only option with that. So
Yeah, ABD is a option. Okay. So okay, now, okay, you want to do some easy ones now? You want to continue with this? Share about it? Huh?
We can do it.
Okay, I think we will move on to study material, the module 4, and then you can do these 4 homework, right?
Ma'am, can we continue on the PPT itself?
We want to continue with PPT.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will continue. Just a minute. Okay, here you have to decide on your order and give the order. You don't have any options. So, this is a little more challenging because no options are available.
Ma'am, in the book there are options given.
No, these are the IPM intro type of questions where
No.
options are
The
not given.
book ones options are given.
Huh?
Ma'am, in the book, what you wanted to do, the module, the options are
The
given, or
module ones are the easy ones where options are given, first sentence is given, it whole exercise is with first sentence given. So I think you can do them on your own, and here we can practice more of the difficult ones so we know how to handle them, right?
okay, ma'am, sure.
I would prefer,
ma'am,
yeah,
15243.
1, 15243. Okay, anybody else? So it talks of begin. One says scientists have for the first time managed to edit genes in a human embryo to repair genetic mutation. Fueling hopes that such procedures may one day be available outside laboratory conditions. Then, 2 says cardiac disease. So a particular cardiac disease. Yeah. So we can pair this up with what? A cardiac disease should be mentioned somewhere. Causes sudden death in others, otherwise healthy young athletes, and affects around 1 in 500 people overall. Correcting the mutation in the gene would only ensure that the child is healthy, but also prevent transmission of mutation to future generations. So here we are talking about correcting the mutation in a specific gene. It is caused by a mutation in a particular gene, and a child will suffer. So if you see, 4 and 3 can form a pair, right? Huh?
Ma'am, and 5 and 2 will also form a
4
mandatory
is a
pair.
problem, 3 gives you correcting the gene. So 4 and 3 do go together. 1 is an introduction for sure. Now, in the results announced in Nature Week, scientists fixed a mutation that thickens the heart muscle, a condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So
5
this
will
is
follow
what
1.
Ma'am, I think it should be 5, 2, 4, 3, and then 1 should come.
right.
1 should be the concluding at the end.
1 is the introduction. It's introducing the concept. Then 5 talks about a particular disease,
No,
a particular
ma'am.
cardiac
I
condition.
wanted to say that, ma'am, 1 should come at the end, ma'am, because 5 is talking in results announced in Nature this week. Scientists fixed a mutation that thickens the heart muscle, a condition called whatever this is called. So, ma'am, this, and then we are talking about the disease, the cardiac disease causes a sudden death, that is 2, and then 4 and 3. And then at the last, we are like concluding like what has happened. Like from this, we learned that scientists have for the first time managed to edit genes in a human embryo to repair a genetic mutation, fueling hopes that such procedures may one day be available outside laboratory conditions. So if we look at it in this
Now,
way,
if you take 1 at the end,
yes, ma'am.
right?
All right.
Okay. Now, if you look at this pair, 4 and 3, what does it say?
But the results are of the experiment conducted by the scientists, right?
Right.
But
So now,
5
if you
in
look at
itself is
4,
it's like
now
start.
if you read 1 carefully now, scientists have for the first time managed to edit genes in a human embryo to repair a genetic mutation, fueling hopes that such procedures may one day be available outside the laboratory. So, is this, if we take it as a concluding statement, it should conclude that this particular disease can be corrected because of this finding?
Yeah, it should be either it can be corrected or it cannot be corrected. The result
Yeah,
should
but
be determinant, right? But it's not
yeah,
determinate here, so that will
but
be
this is
the
more
introductory statement.
generalized statement that this has been done, but it is not connected to the mutation of genes over here. It is introducing something. It is introducing the fact that human gene embryo, that genetic mutation can be done, right? And if you look at these two, 3 and 4, so it is caused by a mutation, right? What is caused by mutation in particular? The condition that the cardiac arrest we were talking about. So all these go together and one comes in as that, okay, mutation we are talking about and we can edit the genes and this is a condition where it can be applied, right? So one is a better option for introductory sentence than as a concluding sentence, okay?
Yes.
So when we see it first, it sounds like after all these problems, this is a solution. But is it really giving you the solution? It is just giving you a hope, and then the rest of it, if you look at 4, or if you look at 3, correcting the mutation in gene would not only ensure that the child is healthy, but also, so it is talking about correcting the gene happening, right? So the hope comes first, then the problem, and then this is being done. So that would be a better way of putting it together, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So clear with everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? Okay, let's look at this question 2. So this is also not very easy, but still we can figure out. So in all these sentences, can we figure out which one is the most general? What can be the most general statement?
3.
3.
Ma'am, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5.
Okay. Where does 5 go?
At the end.
And
3, 1, 4, 2, 5.
you said 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. Okay. What about the other people? What is your answer? I want some more answers. What are the statements that go together? First figure that out. What goes together? Hmm? Anything that you can say that these two will be together?
Ma'am, 1 will definitely follow 3.
One will be every generation selects what it requires from the past and makes its innovations. Some more than others. Selects from past. And the process of handing down 3 and 1. The process of handing down implies not a passive transfer but some contestation in defining what exactly is to be handed down.
Ma'am, I think 1 and then 3 should come.
1 is talking about handing down.
Ma'am,
3
first
is
we are
talking about
describing.
generation selecting. Yes, Sohan?
Ma'am, I feel 1 should come before 3, ma'am, because 1 talks about what is handing down, and then we say that the generation select what it wants to be handed down, like what it requires from the past, and then make its innovations, and then go on to the future, something like that.
Okay, so what is your sequence?
Ma'am, the rest I don't know, ma'am, but for me, I think 1 and 3 is a mandatory pair.
1, 3.
Yes, and the rest I'm trying to fill in.
And where would you put 4? Hmm? Where is 4 go? What is 4 talking about? It is a tradition so that traditions are not handed down unchanged but are invented. And 3 talks about innovations. That is, every generation selects from the past, makes its innovations. 1 talks about process of handing down implies not a passive transfer but some contestation in defining what exactly is to be handed down. So 1 is talking about what is to be handed down. 4 is talking about things are just not handed down, unchanged but are invented. 3 talks about every generation selects what it requires and makes innovations. Right? So what follows what? Aini has given us a sequence. Let's see if that is correct or not. Or you think something else. Yes? What do you think?
Ma'am, 1, 3, 2, 4, 5.
Huh?
I feel like it's 1, 3, 2, 4, 5.
1, 3, 2, 4, 5.
I want to change it to 1, 3, 4, 2, 5.
Okay, you want to change it to 1, 3, 4, 2, 5. So you think 5 should be a concluding statement? Huh?
Yes, ma'am. 5 should be conclusive and 1 should be the opening statement.
Ma'am, 1, 3, and 5, I'm sure, but 4 and 2, I'm not sure which should come ahead or which should. So for me, it's either 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, or 1, 3, 4,
Okay.
5. I don't know about 4 and 2 or 2 and 4.
So is 5 a conclusion to whatever else has been said? Or can it be an introductory statement? It is very broad. Yeah? It's the most general statement that we have. Is it a conclusion? Hmm? Okay, if you are taking 2, now you link 2 to something. Okay, between 1, 3 and 4 we can form a sequence. Right? 1, 3 form a sequence. We had 1, 3, 2. Okay, do you think 2 should come after 3? Doesn't it interrupt the flow? So 4, now if you say 4, it is now a truism to say that traditions are not handed down unchanged but are invented. Right? One says the process of handing down implies not a passive transfer, but some contestation in defining what exactly is to be handed down. So here we have 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, and 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. Anybody with any other answer? Jaldi karo. What's yours? Huh? 1, 3, 4, 2, 5. So that is what it was here. Okay, and everybody else, what are you doing? Huh? What's yours?
No, it is because we could understand without the options. I personally agree with this.
Okay, Yashu, what's your answer?
Ma'am, my answer was the same as Harini's 1, 3, 4, 2, 5.
1, 3, 4, 2, 5. Anybody put your answer on the chat? Okay, now let's see. If we take 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, which is the majority of the people are thinking about that. So it begins with the process of handing down implies not a passive transfer, but some contestation in defining what exactly is to be handed down. Yeah. Every generation selects what it requires from the past and makes its innovations, some more than others. It is now chosen to say that traditions are not handed down unchanged but are invented. Then we go back to wherever Western scholars have worked on Indian past, selection is even more apparent and the invention of a tradition much more recognized. So one thing we know that 2 should come towards the end, right? Now between 1, 3 and 4. Now according to me, if you look at 4, what did it say? It is now a chosen to say that traditions are not handed down unchanged, but are invented. And if you look at 3, should 3 come before 4 or after 4?
Ma'am, 3 will most certainly come right after 1. And 1 will come before 4.
Okay, 1 is talking about things are not handed down contestation in defining what is to be handed down. Yeah, this is what is to be handed down. Now, if you look at 4, this talks about how it is handed down. So traditions are not handed down unchanged, but are invented. Then if you go to 3, 3 goes into more specific. Every generation selects what is required and makes innovation. So this is where,
Ma'am, it should be 1, 3, 4 to 5 only, ma'am.
huh?
Ma'am, it should be 1, 3, 4 to 5, ma'am.
1,
Whoever
3,
said
4
that, they're correct ones.
to
1,
5,
3,
I think
4.
is correct.
And then
But
1, yes.
okay, now I think you're missing out on something between 3 and 4. Read 3 and 4 again with 1 in the beginning.
No. Sorry. 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. Sorry.
1, 3, 2, 4, 5.
Ah,
Right. It's not 1, 3, 2. If you put 2 in the middle,
yes.
wherever Western scholars have worked on Indian past, the selection is even more apparent and the inventing of a tradition much more recognizable. So this is like they know what they have been able to figure out what is going on.
Oh,
So should that come before 3 and 4? Hmm? That is more like a concluding statement. So we push 2 towards the end, right? We push 2 to the end. We will talk about 5. Now we have to first figure out 3 and 4. Now after 1,
Ma'am, but if
what
you look at it
follows?
this way, ma'am, the fourth statement, it is now a truism to say that traditions are not handed down unchanged but are invented. Ma'am, so like from this we are getting that, ma'am, truism means it's a statement that is
Yeah.
obviously true and says nothing new or interesting. Ma'am, so like if you look
Something
at,
that is,
yes, ma'am,
yeah.
Ma'am, so 1, 2, and 3, like we are reasoning the statement, like we are getting the reasons, we are shuffling between 1, 2, and 3, and then from that we are getting to know that traditions are not handed down unchanged but are invented. And then the fifth is like the fifth is a concluding statement, like that's locked for us in any which case. But before that, fourth is a very general, not I mean general, but it sums up what we're talking about in 1, 2, and 3. So rather 4 should come at the end, and then 1 and 3 at the start, and 2 in the middle, which is giving an explanation. Like 3 talks about every generation selects what it requires from the past and makes its innovation. And then we come to wherever Western scholars have worked on the Indian past, the selection is even more apparent. So we are talking about the selection, which we just talked about in the third statement. So naturally, it should come after
Even
3.
more apparent. When we talk about even more apparent, inventing no, it is already talking about inventing a tradition much
Yes,
more
yes, ma'am.
recognizable.
It's talking about inventing a tradition and much more recognizable. And then from that, we conclude that it is a truism to say that traditions are not handed down, unchanged, but are invented. And then we conclude by
Fifth
saying
sentence is
the last
very,
statement.
very generic, and fourth is also to some extent a generic statement. So if we
What
combine
is
both the
that?
generic statements together, it will not make sense. We need two in between them.
Okay.
But fifth is
Now,
like it's not related to the stuff. It's like a quote or something that we are saying. So it's not appropriate to say that it's general and then we are combining it with another general statement, which is fourth.
why do you already? Why do you think 4 is general, the generic statement?
It's not generic, ma'am. It is not pointing to something specific. It is, as Soham said, it's trying to summarize points. But if we are pairing 4 along with 5, it it is not making any sense because both of those statements don't have anything in particular. They're not pointing towards anything particular. 2 has to come before 5.
So now, is 5 related to
Honestly, ma'am,
anything?
5 is not related to any one of these statements, so
So
I
something
don't
that
know.
is not related to
Yes.
anything, we usually take it as the introductory statement, right? So
But then, okay.
we put 5 in the beginning and leave it alone.
But then if we see just as life has
So
death,
it says, just as life has death as its opposite, so is tradition by default the opposite of innovation. It is introducing something.
okay, got it.
Yeah, it is giving an analogy. Life is the opposite of death. Tradition. Now the rest of it is talking about traditions being handed down, and they're talking about traditions being changed and innovations coming in. So 5 is introducing the topic.
Ma'am,
It
I
is the
believe
most general
5.
statement of all that we have.
Ma'am, I believe 5 could come either at the beginning or the end. Ma'am, but we can discuss that later. But other than that, the sequence should be 1, 3, 2, 4, and then either 5 and in the beginning or at the end.
Number 5. If we're starting with 5, then it should be 2 followed by 4. But if we're using 5 as a concluding statement, 4 should not receive that.
Okay, if you look at 5, do you think we can conclude with 5? After all that has been said, do we conclude with 5?
No, 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 no. Ma'am, actually 5, yes, ma'am, you're correct. 5 will be at the beginning. And then
5
it
would better
conclude
be in
with
the
it is now
beginning, right?
chosen to say
Right.
traditions.
So if 5 is in the beginning, what is 5 taking us to?
Traditions
Tradition
and
is opposite of innovation. So we come
yes.
from handing down to innovation, then we go on to something more definite, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
keeping that in mind, does our answer change? How does it, or rather, how does our answer change?
5, 1, 3, 2, 4.
Yes, ma'am.
5, 1, 3, 2, 4. Do you still think 4 should be at the end?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, yes, ma'am. If you're beginning with 5, then 4 should be the concluding statement.
Okay, now if I connect the dots, one is talking about defining what exactly is to be handed down, right? What has to be handed down? Then, if we look at 4, it talks about it is now a freedom to say that traditions are not handed down unchanged, but are invented. Now, if you look at 3, what is it talking about? It is talking about innovations. Yeah, some more than others. So, if you link the ideas, what comes about? Is it more clear to say, like, is it more clear if we say 5, 1, then we go on to 4, then 3, then 2? Read it in that order and tell me whether that makes sense. Okay, right? Okay, we just finish this off. Huh? So, according to me, I think 5 should come first. After 1, 4 follows. 3 is a little more specific about the innovation, and 2 sums it all up. Do you agree? Huh? Soham, Harini, you can think about it.
Ma'am, do you have the answer to these questions?
I have to put up on somewhere. I think I have also because I have done this earlier in another batch, and this was a well debated question. let's see if I have the answer. Question number, this is question number 2. Question number 2, it says, it begins with 5. Okay, it begins with 5, then it actually goes into 4. That is something. Okay. The answer given is 5, 4, 1, 3, 2. That makes sense. Okay, if you begin with 5, does 4 come after 5?
So this is basically exactly the opposite of what Harini was trying to say, that
Yeah.
if you're concluding with 4, 5 can't be at the end, but here if you're starting with 5, 4 is after 5.
But I think 1 should come before. It is now a truism to say that traditions are not handed down. Okay, I think Harini was not very wrong when she said this is more of a general statement.
Right.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now if we begin with 5, it says tradition is
sorry to
by
interrupt,
default the opposite of innovation. It is now chosen to say that traditions are not handed down until but are invented. Yeah?
Ma'am, which
So
statement
we
were you
thought that
talking about?
tradition is opposite of invention, and traditions are not handed down but they are invented. Could come after 5, and then we go on to the process of handing down, and then what every generation thinks. Actually, that makes more sense. Because 4 was not really fitting in, we were having difficulty with fitting in 4, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, fitting it where, at the beginning or at the end?
Huh?
Ma'am, you mean fitting it at the beginning or at the end? Ma'am, where were you finding it difficult?
4 or 5.
Yes. Fitting 4 in the beginning was difficult,
No,
or in the end was difficult?
5 comes in the beginning, and if we say 5 is the most general statement, 4 is a fact, right? 4 is more like it is stating a fact, and then it's going on to explain it.
Ma'am, how is 4 a fact, ma'am? Ma'am, it's more like an inference.
4 is
Ma'am,
like a.
Ma'am, 4, how is it a fact? No, it is more like an inference, ma'am, drawn from whatever we have talked about till now.
Ma'am, so according to the given order, we're first stating 4 and then we're stating the reasons why we have concluded with 4, right?
Right, that's how it is going.
Ma'am, that could make sense, ma'am, but then that's the same
But
as
without the
saying,
options, we will think to conclude
yes, ma'am.
later, right?
Because this was like, I remember like this, we have debated almost half an hour on this. And everyone said that no, 5, 4, 1, 3, 2 is not the correct order.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, so it's like basically saying I am a good boy, and then stating the reasons why I'm a good boy.
Happy Diwali.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhat that, like that. So like we can, so there can